This is the story of what happened when a complete unknown walked into Madison Square Garden at SummerSlam 1998 as Sable's mystery partner, and how even the company that booked him there had no plan for what came next. August 30th, 1998. Over 21,000 fans filled Madison Square Garden for WWF SummerSlam, nicknamed Highway to Hell, and the card read like a who's who of the Attitude Era. Steve Austin, defending the WWF Championship against The Undertaker, headlined the night. Triple H and The Rock were set to tear each other apart in a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. And somewhere in the middle of all that, a 24-year-old from Orangeville, Ontario, Canada, named Adam Copeland was about to step onto the biggest stage of his career as the mystery partner for Sable in a mixed tag team match against Mark Merrow and Jacqueline, having been on WWF television for barely 2 months. Getting to that moment had taken the better part of a decade. Copeland's professional debut came in 1992, grinding through independent shows under names like Eric Deneen and Sexton Hardcastle, and a brief look in WCW as Damon Stryker that never went anywhere. None of it stuck. A developmental deal with WWF finally arrived in 1997, sending him to train at Dory Funk Jr.'s Funkin' Dojo in Connecticut, alongside future WWF star Sean Morley, better known as Val Venis. But the drive behind all of it traced back to a single night in 1990 when a young Adam Copeland sat in row 11 of Toronto's Sky Dome at WrestleMania 6, watching Hulk Hogan face the Ultimate Warrior. That was the moment he decided this was what he wanted to do with his life, and 8 years later, he'd be walking into Madison Square Garden for SummerSlam. His WWF television debut landed on June 22, 1998, on Raw is War, and the ring name that went with it came from the least glamorous creative process imaginable. Don Callis heard a radio station, liked the name, suggested it. Edge it was. The character built around that name leaned entirely on mystery, because, as it turned out, mystery was the only tool available. Vignettes aired of him wandering city streets alone, brooding, unattached to anything or anyone, and when he finally appeared on Raw, he came through the crowd. Jim Ross, on commentary, called him some sort of a tortured soul, which sounded intentional but was really just the broadcast team filling in blanks that creative hadn't filled in yet. His first televised match told a similar story. Facing Jose Estrada Jr. of Los Boricuas, Edge connected with a somersault senton dive from the ring to the outside and accidentally knocked Estrada out cold, legitimately injuring him. The match ended by countout. Ross called it an inauspicious debut on commentary, which was accurate, and Edge's undefeated record began under the strangest possible circumstances. None of it had a blueprint, and Copeland said so much years later. At an Inside the Ropes show in 2018, he recalled what creative actually looked like during those early months. The thing with Edge at the beginning is there was no plan, like ever. They were like, okay, you're this mysterious guy. That was the answer to, we don't know what to do with you. We don't think you have any personality. You can wrestle, though, so maybe some character and personality will come out. That's not fully a knock on them, it's also a knock on me, because I didn't know this was like a big leap from wrestling in a barn in Fall Branch, Tennessee, in front of 6 people sitting on bales of hay, to wrestling in Madison Square Garden at SummerSlam. That quote does a lot of work. Management had doubts about his microphone ability, and doubted his personality translated on screen, and the mysterious loner character was less a creative choice than a way of buying time while they figured out whether he had anything beyond his in-ring ability. And Copeland acknowledged his own side of it. The distance from Barnes in Tennessee and 21,000 people at MSG isn't a small one, and he felt every inch of that gap. What put him in that SummerSlam spot at all was a straightforward piece of Attitude-era storytelling. In the weeks leading up to the event, Jacqueline had been attacking Sable on multiple Raw episodes, building a grudge that needed a payoff. Sable needed a partner for a mixed tag team match against Jacqueline and Mark Marrow, and Edge was young, undefeated, and had the kind of look WWF wanted in front of a big crowd. He got the call, which meant his first pay-per-view appearance would come at SummerSlam at Madison Square Garden on one of the biggest cards of the year. The match delivered what it needed to. Edge and Sable walked away with the win, sealed by Edge body-slamming Sable directly onto Mark Marrow in a pinning position to close it out. Unconventional finish, but it worked, and his undefeated momentum stayed intact heading out the night.